I think so far one of the biggest downsides with James Gunn's DCU, or potential restrictions that prevent it from reaching its full potential, is the fact that he's not doing like a 100% hard reboot and like recasting every single character from the DCEU. And I think one of the biggest issues that could arise from that is keeping any actors that played major Justice League characters from the DCEU, and that includes Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And now, to set the record straight, I have nothing against Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I like her, as Wonder Woman and what she's done with the DCEU character since her appearance in Batman vs. Superman. But yeah, I think she's got to pack it up and go, bro. I'm sorry.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I need you to get the hell up out of here.
Any particular reason?
You're kind of a lazy hoe.
Just the conversation or thought alone on potentially keeping her for the DCU will be one of the biggest mistakes Gunn and Safran will make for their upcoming universe, for a multitude of reasons, I think. The first reason obviously being the fact that we are already getting a new Superman with David Corenswet, and apparently they're like miles and miles away from casting the new Batman for the Brave and the Bold. So if you're already recasting your two most iconic characters in your universe, you might as well go for your third most popular character in your universe. Not to mention the fact that it would be jarring for both longtime DC fans and casual audiences to see Gal Gadot Wonder Woman interact with a new Superman and Batman, even though she's had plenty of interactions with the previous DCEU Justice League, not to mention her cameo in both Shazam! Fury of the Gods and The Flash. It just makes things inconsistent and messy if you're trying to disassociate yourself from the DCEU, which you really need to do if you want to have any financial success due to the, the flops of pretty much every DCEU film since, I guess, Aquaman. That was the only one that crossed $1 billion. Everything else after that was a flop. And when it comes to the Paradise Lost Amazon, Themyscira prequel series that was announced in James Gunn's first chapter, Gods and Monsters, the, show on Max, it was stated that it would be a prequel to the Wonder Woman films. Bro, there's still plenty of time left. I'm sure it's not even in the early development stages, but please don't make it a prequel to either DCEU Wonder Woman film. Just be like, it's set before Diana's birth, obviously, but don't make it tie into any DCEU film. It's just messy. Most people don't want that. As a matter of fact, I read a poll not too long ago in my community tab with almost 500 votes that stated, would you like a recast for Wonder Woman in the DCEU? More than 70% stated that they'd like to get a new actress rather than keeping her. So, I mean, shoot. Also, just casting a new actress would just better separate from like the tone and direction that they were gonna go with the DCEU version with Patty Jenkins' interpretation of what she was gonna do, because Wonder Woman 1984 proved that if you just leave her alone and have her full creative control, it's not gonna work out. Because a lot of people are like, oh, but the first Wonder movie was pretty good. And yes, she was the director, but keep in mind, Zack Snyder and a bunch of other writers pretty much, they wrote the script for that movie. They're pretty much responsible for all of like the really interesting aspects of the film and why it's good. And then funny enough, you look at the script for Wonder Woman 1984 written by Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns, yeah, it was a complete and utter just garbage fest. And someone like Gal Gadot, considering her age range, she could easily play the character for another 10 years, and I could see why they'd want to keep her on that aspect, but I mean, they got rid of Henry Cavill, so none of you are safe. Every DCU actor, I'm sorry, Justice League member, y'all gotta bounce. And this isn't necessarily coming from me, but from the opinions of a lot of other people. She's not the greatest actress in the world. Like, if you look at anybody, like, a lot of people will say that they're not fond of her acting.
Max Lord, you're putting yourself and everyone else in grave danger. I need you to give me the stone. What happened to it?
It's cinema.
I mean, there's also the fact that every Amazon in the Wonder Woman films has an accent because she couldn't get rid of hers. I think this is just a golden opportunity to implement the next generation's, pillar of the DC universe, new costume, new actress, and just a new direction and tone for stories, and implement more for supporting characters. Obviously, to give more emphasis on like the Themyscira, the Amazons, and the Greek mythology aspect of the character that's so vital to who she is as a character, which I think they kind of missed their mark with the previous Wonder Woman films, even though characters like Ares was like the main villain in the first film, and they do mention the Greek gods. The third act of the first one isn't great. Like, I just cannot stand the look for Ares. Like, this dude's mustache, like, what is that? He looks like EDP's partner in crime. This is your way to showcase to everyone why she is able to stand next to like the greats of like Batman and Superman in terms of how iconic they are and how vital they are to the universe, and show how much of a cool character she is, physically, and like her physicality, and like maybe the villain she fights. Maybe you could see like a Giganta, Dr. Psycho, Ares, but done right this time. Cersei, all those like Wonder Woman villains. Like, imagine like a God of War type of tone or scenario with like fighting different Greek gods and monsters, but for DC. I mean, come on, like, if that's your money maker right there. Come on, Gunn. I mean, who would want want that. But when it comes to any like major recastings for the DCU, obviously the reason as to why we haven't heard any concrete plans to like recast characters like Aquaman, Flash, or Wonder Woman is because the DCEU or like any remnants of it are still technically in running, because you know the Flash movie wasn't too long ago, and Aquaman and Lost Kingdom is supposed to come out in December, which let's be honest, that is making like 5 moaners in the box office at best.
Get the fuck in.
But I wouldn't be surprised maybe like around like 2024, then they'll announce any like concrete plans going forward. And that's technically the big start of Gods and Monsters, because Creature Commandos and Waller are supposedly coming out that year as well.